All right, apes, let's jack in. You gotta understand, the entire financial system, it's just a program, an operating system, written by suits for other suits. Now, most people just run the program, right? They click the prompts, they follow the rules, but we're not most people. Our job is to debug the code, find the exploits, and expose the glitches in the matrix. And today, we are looking at a big one, the code that's supposed to get you to financial freedom.
And we're going to start with this transmission from the front lines. A user on the financial independence subreddit basically staring into the mirror and not liking what they see. You know, this hits hard because it's so real. This is the emotional fallout. This is what happens when a system isn't running the way it's advertised. It's that exact moment you realize the game might just be rigged.
So that's the big question, isn't it? That's the loop we're opening today. You follow all the rules, you put in the work, you stack the cash, and somehow the goal just keeps getting further away. What in the world is causing this bug? Well, let's decompile the code and find out. Okay, first up, the official FIRE blueprint. You know, the dream the suits are selling you. They tell you it's a simple equation, right? High income plus a massive savings rate equals freedom. And you know what? It's a hell of a sales pitch. Let's see what it actually looks like for someone who's, totally crushing it.
Just look at these numbers. We've got a senior software engineer from the /financial independence sub. Their net worth is over 900 grand. This is the high score. This is what the blueprint promises. No debt, assets stacked high. I mean, it looks like a rocket ship on the launch pad.
And here's the rocket fuel, a savings rate of over 64%. Now that is diamond hands level discipline. We're not talking about skipping a few lattes here. This is changing your entire life to revolve around one single goal. The official narrative says this is the key. You just max out your savings stat and you win the game.
And this is the engine that makes it all go. A $210,000 salary. A high income is the accelerator pedal in this whole FIRE movement. You get a huge shovel, you save like a maniac, and the math works. I mean, on paper, this user is just a few candles away from hitting $1 million and logging off forever. That's the dream. But what happens when that dream starts to buffer?
And now we get to the good part. Let's look at the error logs. We're moving past the shiny sales pitch to see where the code actually breaks down. And the first glitch we find, it's not really in the user strategy. No, it's in the user experience.
Check out this timeline from a lawyer who's also on the FIRE path. In 2020, the target was a cool $1 million. Simple enough. By 2022, it jumped to 1.5 mil. Now they're looking at needing 2.3 million and maybe even 3.5 just to buy a decent home. It's like every time you're about to beat the final boss, the game adds a surprise paid DLC.
Now this right here exposes a massive, and I mean massive, hidden danger. A user on r/personal finance did everything right, but their employer just didn't deposit their 401k money for 2 years. See, your biggest risk isn't picking a bad stock. It's counterparty risk. It's the person on the other side of the deal, in this case, your own boss, not holding up their end. The system has security holes that they don't even tell you to look for.
So we've seen the individual glitches, right? The moving goalposts, the 401k that just vanishes. But those are just symptoms. To find the root cause, you have to zoom out. You have to look at the operating system itself, the macroeconomic code that's running this entire game.
Okay, look at this. Here's the data straight from the Bank of England. The suits tell you, hey, save your money, earn 4% interest. Sounds great, right? But then you look at the next line, inflation is at 3.6%. So your real return, what you actually get to keep, is a measly 0.4%. That is Theta Decay on your cash. It's an ice cube melting in your drink. You are running as fast as you can on a treadmill, burning all this energy just to stay in the same place.
And here's the ultimate bear case, laid out perfectly. The very tools the system uses to measure its own health, like GDP, they're being questioned. The argument here is that the people in charge, the devs of this whole system, are making critical, fundamental errors in the code. And those errors don't just lead to little market crashes. They can lead to the decay of the entire currency.
So the code's buggy. The game is way harder than they told you. What's the play? Well, this is what we call the Ape Theory. It's a look at 2 different strategies that savvy outsiders are using to get around the glitches. Now remember, this is not financial advice. We're just analyzing the probabilities here.
So, path 1 is the symbol path, the one championed by guys like J.L. Collins, VTSAX. Basically, you stop trying to outsmart the suits by picking winning stocks. Instead, you just buy the entire market. You own a tiny piece of everything. This is a direct counter to that moving goalpost glitch, because if the system is designed to go up over time, well, you just go up with it. You're no longer just a player at the casino table, you become the casino.
Path 2, it's a totally different approach. It's not about playing the game better. It's about switching to a different game entirely. Bitcoin. The core idea is a direct response to the glitches we've been talking about. Its code says there will only ever be 21 million of them, period. No central bank can just print more, which is a hard counter to that inflation glitch, the Theta decay on your cash. And because you can hold it yourself, it's an attempt to completely eliminate that counterparty risk. It's a hedge not against a market crash, but against a system crash.
Okay, so we've seen the dream, we've seen the glitches, and we've looked at the counteroffensives. Let's bring it all together. Let's close that loop we opened at the very beginning and finally answer the question, why does the finish line always seem to move?
So this brings us back to that hidden danger. It's not a bad trade. It's not a bear market. The real danger is blind faith in the system itself. See, the moving goalposts, the missing 401k funds, they aren't bugs. They are features of a system where inflation actually helps the people in debt and complexity helps the insiders. The finish line moves because the measuring stick itself, the dollar, is constantly shrinking. Real financial freedom isn't just about stacking assets. It's about understanding the code of the system you're being forced to play in.
And, of course, the mandatory guardrail. None of this is financial advice, okay? We're just a bunch of apes with keyboards looking at data streams and talking about the patterns we see. So treat this as educational banter. The market is a casino. Always do your own research.
All right, now let's turn this over to the hive mind. We've shown you the glitches we're seeing in the source code, but we know for a fact there are more out there, and this is where you come in.
So, what about you? Now that you can see the code, what is the biggest, the most absurd glitch that you have personally run into in this system? Was it some bizarre fee, a rule that made absolutely no sense, an experience that just made you realize the official story is a complete fantasy? Drop your story in the comments. Let's compile the full error log together.
We are watching this chart like a hawk. While you wait for the next candle, grab your free gear. Sign up for Public to get $20 in free assets. Check Webull for that BTC promo, or grab your NVDA stock on Moomoo. Links are in the description. Smash the like, subscribe to the tribe. Apes together strong.